Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of And Another Thing with Dave. I want to thank all of our listeners from all over the world. Please do subscribe and share if you're not already. All right, let's get into it. Have you seen any of these? It's super trending on YouTube now. How people are doing, that it's all popular. Homesteading is popular now, right?
Yeah.
And there's all these people talking about how you can make, $100,000 a year, $250,000 a year on an acre. Like, have you seen any of these videos? Like, are you guys like incorporating any permaculture? Like, you're rotating your animals? Like, you doing any of these? I don't know. What are you guys doing? No pressure. I'm just saying, have you seen any of this? Or do you have any interest in it? I guess is my question. Because there you are doing it. I'm just talking and thinking about it. So you got to remember my place, right? I just aspire to have a little piece of land, but I don't know what it means to actually have to take care of it and do all that. So
Yeah,
I'm
there's a lot
more.
of work involved in that.
Well, I can only imagine, right? But yeah, exactly. So I'm
And
not trying. So I'm not trying to tell anybody. I just want to, I want to check myself right away. I'm not trying to tell anybody what they should be doing with their land. I'm asking what you're doing because one day I want to have a little piece and I want to do a little something, something too.
Yeah, it's a
Right?
lot of work. That's why you need to have like a whole team with you, like a whole family. Everybody has some, like a chore and they're responsible for it to move things smoothly. Because when
Yeah.
you're by yourself, you're gonna spread yourself thin.
Right. And now I can't, so here I am, didn't do the family thing. So now I'm thinking I got to create like a tiny house village or something, like bring random people, maybe not random people, but, like-minded people
Mhm.
that want to contribute, that want to live in a communal type thing. Because I like being with people. I don't want to live alone. Like I could have lived. I could be alone right now, but I chose to live in a place with two roommates because I like social contact.
Yeah.
So I don't want to
I'm
just live alone.
I'm totally
I'd
opposite.
rather I'd rather have like a little community, but where each person has their own house. So if
Yeah,
you want to be alone, you're all good, right?
exactly. I will always need my own space.
Totally, me too.
And
Oh,
this
I'm
this is
totally that way, right? Like,
it's like great, but ever since I was like a teen and I got my first apartment, I've never had like roommates ever in my life. I just had like a partner twice in life, but yeah, I never had like a roommate situation.
for real?
Yeah, because I just don't like trust people and just different personalities, and I like things a certain way, and I don't like to share my space. So yeah, since I was like 19 years old, I always had my own place, and I'm in my
I've been
40s.
on my own. I've been on my own since I was 17. I'm 53 now. Do you know how many roommates I've had?
A lot.
Like 60.
Whoa. Are you shitting me right now? 60 different
Not
personalities.
even.
Shit.
Yeah, right?
That's amazing.
Trip on that. And 90% of them were awesome, like
Oh, that's great. At least
10%,
that's a good part.
10% became really good friends. I'm still like Facebook friends with three of them,
Mhm.
and this is from 20 years ago, you know?
Wow, you're lucky.
No, it's not lucky. It's just, people are cool. But, you got to be discerning. But I got fucked over a couple times. I ain't gonna lie.
Mhm.
But, not enough to make me gun shy at all, you know? Even when I buy my own house, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna rent bedrooms out because I don't want to
Mhm.
pay the whole mortgage myself, you know?
Yeah. I would love to do like a bed and breakfast.
Oh, I would love that too. But you know what? How I'm going to set it up when I buy my own place, so that I have my own master bedroom with my own master bedroom with my own bathroom, and that we just share like the kitchen and the living room and the yard and
Hmm.
that shit, right? And it's all good.
I
Yeah,
would
I
like,
would love to have a bed and breakfast.
yeah, I would have like breakfast and brunch.
Exactly. You just do like croissants and muffins in the morning and coffee and tea.
Like we can have like complimentary like
Afternoon tea
snacks and stuff
crumpets.
and some tea.
Right. Yeah. The English and the Irish, they like their afternoon tea.
So homesteading, I think that I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's more important to be like in touch with your community rather than isolating yourself on some kind of homestead. I think it's a privilege to have land and to do that kind of shit, and I think it's kind of like a yuppie trend. Um, like we have this land because my great great grandfather bought it, 100 years ago, and it's not like we're wealthy by any means, but it's really hard work. Farming is really fucking hard work for not a lot of pay because you're competing with big agriculture in America. So homesteading, the idea of it is cool, but mm,
Joey Wood, I agree, brother. I agree.
Yeah.
Fuck Big Ag. Let's just start there. Fuck Big Ag. Fuck
Yeah.
Monsanto. Fuck Arthur Daniels Midland. Um, fuck all these huge. Fuck, fuck Monsanto and glyphosate. Can we just say it? Everybody that uses fucking Roundup on their yard, you're killing us all, you fuckers. You're killing the
Yeah.
bees. Stop. Just
And without the
stop.
bees, did you ever see that bee
Stop.
movie
Oh
where,
yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's
yeah,
heartbreaking.
because
I
that's
cried.
gonna happen.
I cried.
Without the bees, everything's gonna die and we're gonna starve. The bees are very
And we're
important.
and then we're gonna look back and realize like we were living in Eden and all we had to do is nothing. But we got
Hmm.
greedy, or we let certain people get greedy
Hmm.
and fuck it all up for the rest of us. So like part of me wonders when society is going to flip and look at those kind of people like war criminals. Like, you killed our planet, motherfucker. We're coming for you, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I totally
Because
agree.
that's kind of how it should be, right? Like we should be looking at like hear this. In India, they stormed the offices of Monsanto executives. Monsanto pulled out of India. So that's how that works.
Wow.
It's pretty simple, right? Monsanto doesn't like their executives getting beat to death in the street.
Sure.
And it's not as simple as don't buy their product because, well, fuck, they bought up all the other competitors. So you can't even tell when you're buying their product
Yeah.
if you buy. And so the only way to go is organic seeds, right? Because then you know you're not getting a Monsanto product.
but with all that being said, I would love to have like 40 or 50 acres and just live off the land and not have to see anybody and just do what I wanted to do and live life by my means and on my own terms. And I guess that's possible, but yeah, I don't know.
Joey Wood, I often think the same thing, but then is it possible? Because then we got to buy shoes and clothes eventually, right, and stuff. So like, I guess you got to at least have enough food to bring to market
Hmm.
to make money for that stuff. The rest of the things you can barter with your neighbors and just do self sufficiency. But there's going to be certain things, right, like mostly clothes, I guess, that you got to buy. Um, unless you're totally going back to the earth, like knitting and stuff, and with
That's
making
like
your
the
own.
you know
Yeah,
they
right.
uh, they don't
The
work with
Amish are
money.
killing it.
Money. for certain things. So that's why they have their canning, and then they sell candles, and they have like a lot of homemade things that they sell when they go to the fairs, and they have like a little like a street thing outside down the road from their house where they sell a lot of their stuff, like a little shack, and that's how they
We
make their
could learn a
money.
lot from them.
Yeah, absolutely.
We could really learn a lot from them, as far as self-sufficiency goes, right? Because your average American, you drop them alone in the woods, and they're just dead,
They're
dead
dead
in
because
72 hours.
yeah. You gave them
You
72,
know,
I gave them 24.
well, it takes like 72 hours for dehydration, right? So if you
Oh,
don't get water within 72 hours, you're fucking dead. You can live for a month without food, but you got to drink water.
what happens if someone drinks soda all the time and don't drink zero water? What does that does to like the body?
Oh man, you're you're killing your liver, your kidneys, probably gonna get diabetes if you're drinking the if you're not drinking shit, you're gonna get diabetes from all the sugar, because in every soda there's like 12 packets of sugar.
Hmm.
It's an obscene amount of sugar. It's like a huge pile of drugs. Like, look at sugar like a drug, right? Because it really is. Um, the amount of sugar in a fucking soda is disgusting. If you put it in a pile, it would make you sick. You'd look at it and go, "Oh, gross! I'm not going to eat that much sugar. That's gross."
Yeah.
But there it is in a soda. Oh, no problem. They're poison. I don't touch them.
I just finally got off that shit. Literally,
Oh, good for
literally.
you.
I lost my
Good for
life
you,
from it.
girl.
Yeah. I had some
No,
stone,
no, just
kidney
literally,
stone.
like,
Yeah.
they lead to people going pre-diabetic and then diabetic, and then you got to get dialysis and shit, and all, like, fuck all that. Are you kidding me?
Before I went into the hospital, I was pre-diabetic. I ended up getting
Oh
kidney
fuck.
stones, have a surgery, had a stent
Oh
put
fuck.
in. Yeah, and I was like literally I couldn't hold my urine. It was the worst experience of my life. And I dealt with
So
that for a month straight before they had to have another surgery to remove it.
Jesus Christ, have you ever done like a smoothie fast, like a
Mm,
green smoothie fast?
no. I just do like the fruit smoothies all the time.
You might want to try some mixing up some green smoothies in it, because fruit is good, but there's so much sugar in that too.
Yeah.
Like fruit, like one apple has like a fuck ton of sugar in it. It's natural sugar, but it'll still give your ass diabetes.
Yeah. And I love apples.
So, well, girlfriend, try mixing it up. No, we got a message here. Let me play it.
Yeah, I mean, we have Amish neighbors, and they definitely make it work. But you need more than just 1 or 2 acres of land. You need like 30 or 40 acres of land to cultivate enough food for you and your family to survive off of. Because one little 30 by 30 foot plot of garden space is going to give you about three or four dinners worth of food. You need to plant a shit ton of food and have a bunch of livestock to survive off of. And yeah, it's possible. We've done it in the past. Historically, people are still doing it today. So yeah, it is possible, but you need to change yourself and kind of move away from what society has molded you into.
Yep. Yeah. No, society hasn't molded me into anything. I'm a rebel. Um, but I agree. I agree. The more land, the better. But there's all these videos on YouTube of people doing intensive but regenerative farming. So, like on a 5 acre plot, you know, there's people doing um, greens only on a 1 acre plot, and they're making $100,000 a year just selling lettuce, various lettuces to restaurants and shit.
Wow.
Um, so it's all scalable, and
Mhm.
it's what you want to do, and But yet to be self-sufficient and all that, the livestock are key, and the livestock are what's going to keep the earth healthy and regenerative, right? You need them creating that fertilizer, peeing and pooping out on the land, right? You want as many different critters as possible out there peeing and pooping on the land, right? You run your sheep or goats or whatever first, then you bring the cows back behind them, and then you bring the chickens back behind them in the same pasture, and then you rotate each one of them out, right? So your sheep or your goats go first, then the cows follow them, and then your chickens and your ducks follow them.
Mhm. That's what they do. They follow each other, definitely.
Well, you move them. You move them, right? Like you create a schedule, so you move them. You create a grid pattern, and you move them in a circle. So you rotate them so they don't beat up the land. Like if you look at your average dairy farm or something, the cattle are all just sitting in one place. There's no grass. It's all nasty and muddy and shit, and it's because they don't move the cattle,
Yeah.
right? If you
The
keep
shit
moving them,
one
everything
place.
stays beautiful. We need to make up nursery songs about these processes of regenerating the fertile ground. Why not? Mother Goose, get right on it. Oh my God, Virgil! What was your name, brother? That you just said that? Vig Vigilic? Vigilic. That's tough for a Dave Smith to say, but Vigilic? I'm going to attempt to say your name. I said with a Russian accent. Vigilic.
Or
I
Jillick.
like is
Mhm.
very good. I like Vigilic, yes. Um, but dude, oh my God, what a brilliant idea! Are you a musician at all? Because I'm a
Mhm.
songwriter or a lyricist and a singer. So, oh my God, dude, if you're a fucking multi-instrumentalist guy, fuck, we got this. But oh my God, you're right, because that's how we got to do it. We got to brainwash the children in a positive way, in a positive way, right? And brainwashing is a bad word, but planting ideas in fertile ground. How's that? Young minds are fertile ground. You plant the right idea, that tree will grow for the rest of that person's life. Like me. Like my dad put in a vegetable garden when I was 7, and I never forgot it. And I've loved gardening ever since. And, you know, and if we're going to survive on this planet,
Yeah.
the planet will be fine. So it's not like save the whales, save the human. It's save the humans, really. Not save the planet, save the humans, because the planet will be fine. It's just going to do like it's going to shake like a dog, and we'll fly off, and then some other life form will be created, dinosaur or whatever. But if we want to survive on this little rock flying through space, then we got to change our ways, people.
I have friends who farm and they don't make anywhere near $100,000 a year. I don't know about all that. I have a friend who worked on a farm where she was in charge of all the fruits and vegetables and all the livestock. She basically worked for a guy who owned the land, and then they would sell all of the chickens and fruits and vegetables to like local restaurants and stuff. And I think he paid her about like 30 or 35K a year. I don't know how much he was making, but you got to have the money to have the land too, and it's a lot of work. So if you're up for that.
Yeah, Joey Wood, what I was talking about is there's a new trend which is hyper production on packing a small parcel and producing greens for restaurants, grocery stores, farmers markets, um, year round, right? With hoop houses. and shit, right? So you pull the hoop house off during the summer or whatever, you got the hoop house on during the winters. But this guy had on a 5 acre plot, I think he had 100 fucking hoop houses that were 100 feet long. So he had a ton of different stuff, like greens going year round with high-end restaurants and then he scored a couple awesome contracts, right? Like his high school buddy opened up a barbecue place. So he would buy his entire supply of onions. So bam. So all of a sudden he's like, okay, we got to plant more onions. Right? So, but yeah, they're making 100 grand a year on a 5 acre piece, planting it intensely and harvesting 3-4 times a year and rotating crops.
Vigil Q, my friend. Sorry, there's no underdash.
Vigil Q, thank you. My name's Dave Smith, and I'm phonetically challenged. Brother, be the first person to admit it. So thank you. Appreciate all the help I can get. And but no, that was brilliant fucking idea. Planting ideas like a seed
Mhm.
in fertile ground, which is a child's mind, right?
Mhm.
You plant it in the right mind, that seed will grow for that entire child's life. And you might have just created a fucking Malcolm X. You might have just created the next Martin Luther. You might have just created the next fucking Bobby Newton.
You just never know.
You never know.
Yeah, we
John
have
Lennon,
there.
right?
No, that's why I said, Mother Goose, get right on it. I'm not a musician.
He's not a musician.
I didn't get the Mother Goose pun. Was Mother Goose a musician? I guess she was.
Yeah, but you need money for the land, and that's where a lot of people don't have money because we're too busy paying rent, right? So I mean, around here, like 1 acre is like 50 or 60K. Like I don't have 60K laying around just for an acre of land. You know, like what's that going to give me? Like you need a house to live in for that property.
Oh, for sure. You got to buy a house with an acre of land, right? Because
Mhm.
an acre of land. So I used to do real estate. Um, I still have my real estate license. So for an acre, for raw land, you got to put down like 40%. For land with a house, you can put down, 5, 10%, whatever. It just works out way better if there's an existing structure on the property. And you got to live somewhere. So what are you going to do? Live somewhere else and commute to a farm that you're just working on? No. So no, I agree. The ideal, like fuck, my dream would be to find a 25, 50 acre parcel, have 10, have like the main house on it, maybe a couple outbuildings, and then like maybe, a little tiny house village with 6 or 10 tiny houses where people all want to live the same way, where we have total independence when we want it, but when you don't want it, there's a village there, and you don't have to be alone, and you don't have to do it alone. And like you said, um, Ms. Dimples, where one person can tend the hogs, one person could tend the chickens, one person could tend the lettuce beds, one person could tend the root vegetables, one person could be the tomato guy, or gal, whatever,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
tomato chica.
The chica de tomate.
Chico de tomate. Sí. Me
Yeah.
gusta.
I love my robots to do my gardening for me, so I don't have to lift a finger if I don't want to.
Oh, wow. He must got money
Okay, well,
robot doing that.
teach teach me more about that, because man,
You get the robots.
I'm curious. What's up with robot gardening?
That's cool. Yeah, I have heard of that, and I know the whole like farm to table thing has become a lot more popular. But you have to have those connections to the restaurant owners as a farmer, and there's only so many restaurants in certain areas, and if everybody has their own homestead, You know, there's only so many restaurants, and the market will get flooded. But I like that idea. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree, Joey Wood. So I think a hybrid of the two is the way to go, right? Like, because we want this lifestyle first and foremost, right? And then we want to try to make money doing it secondly. So first, and there's this saying that I love, leap and the net will follow, right? So, but nobody wants to do it to go it alone. That's intimidating, right? So if you could get people, and make it, of course, everything would have to be drawn up, written up, agreements, rules, bylines, right?
Yeah.
Because you know how people get, but
You have to have everything in writing. Yeah.
everything would have to be on paper for sure.
Mhm.
Like, nope, see right here, rule number 4, you agreed to that.
Mhm.
Mr. Speaker, Mrs. Vice Speaker, I'd like to request 2-minute rant time.
2-minute rant time granted. Please go, sir.
You don't need the whole 50, 60K all at once, though. You can make a down payment towards it.
Is that Juanito
Yes,
Papi's back?
Juanito Papi, he is back. Don't call him Juanita again. That upset him.
I called him Juanito. I said, Juanito Papi, you're back, Papi.
No, when you said goodbye to him the last time, you were fucking with him and you called him Juanita.
That was the ganja speaking.
Well, and I thought it was funny, but I think Juanito took offense, and we're
I hope
glad
he
you're
did.
back, Juanito.
I'm glad he's back.
Stormproof.
My friend who worked for the farm to table guy that I was just telling you about, she actually lives in a tiny house. So it's funny that you mentioned a tiny house village, but it sounds like you want to live on something like a commune, is what you're kind of describing, right?
Joey Wood, yes sir. Commune. Yeah, and part of me thinks I was just born 20 years too late because I don't know, might have been cool to be like, on a free love commune. That might have
Yeah.
been cool. Of course, everybody probably ended up hating each other, right? Like, come on, because we're humans, right? Jealousy and this and that. And like, if you really like somebody and they're having better sex with somebody else, that would hurt, right?
Yeah.
That would hurt. So yeah, I don't think I could do the whole commune, like open free love thing. But yeah, I do. I want built-in community.
I don't
I
like to share,
want
so yeah. That wouldn't work.
not like that. I don't want to share my toothbrush. I don't want to share my lover.
Yeah,
I'll
I
share
don't
my
share.
toothbrush with my lover, but
Mhm.
I ain't sharing my lover.
Yeah.
Oh hell no.
Mm-mm. Don't work like that.
Uh-uh.
Like that
No, I'm
mouthful
gonna
of
wear.
yeah.
I don't want to share underwear either. Like
Oh,
certain things, certain things are personal.
very personal.
He said, this is funny. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
I
we're
want
going
to know.
places.
I want to
We're
know.
going places.
Yeah.
You can't stop us. We're going
You can't.
places. So come on, bring on your 2-minute rant, dog. We're waiting.
He said, flood the market. Don't flood the market with food. Oh my God. Heaven forbid. God forbid, everyone forbid that we should flood the market with food and have an abundance and there be no poverty. And oh my God. Yeah. Okay. This is simple. This actually solves our politics and our monetary issues, poverty, everything. It's really simple. Self-sufficiency. If people would change their priorities to self-sufficiency, automated self-sufficiency, it'd be simply done. Wood gas. Wood gasification is one method of creating energy almost absolutely free. Just collect all the wood, all the biological material you can dry out and burn and turn it into fuel. It's a simple process. It's really not all that expensive. Robots are not all that expensive. A couple thousand will feed you for as long as a robot will last. They will do that.
Well, that's pretty. Sounds like pretty legit shit to me. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know a whole
definitely.
lot about robots. I'd have to make sure I lock my doors though, because I wouldn't want that robot coming in and killing me in the middle of the fucking night.
They end up going haywire and doing a Chucky on your ass.
Oh man, I've read a bunch of sci-fi, so I'm kind of worried about that. The robots of dawn, like Isaac Asimov wrote this trilogy, The Robots of Dawn, and robots got so sophisticated that there was this one chick that she didn't even want nothing to do with men anymore because her robot could take care of whatever the fuck she needed, and it didn't talk back. And you know, it would talk to her if she talked to it, but if she didn't talk to it, it just shut the fuck up and laid there.
She had her perfect man in her world. That was her perfect
Right?
man. Why, she just didn't want to deal with like a real person. She was
Right?
looking for the machine. We have some messages
Well,
there.
Now, say you don't have an interest in gardening, or the whole I don't have space. I live in an apartment. Whatever. Look, do something that produces something that your neighbor might need or want. Get a 3D printer. Learn to 3D print. Metal 3D printers. Something that contributes, that makes you valuable. And then why would you starve? Your neighbors are making the food, and you're printing the parts. Somebody's growing the hemp for your textiles, or whatever, other plant. These are very simple solutions that are right in front of our faces. And after World War II, wood gasification was very popular. When the gas prices went through the roof, but then they brought the gas prices back down, and everyone was like, "Hey, let's go back to being drones and just buying oil from foreign countries and fighting wars."
oh my God, you hit the fucking nail on the head. The hemp revolution. Okay. So the only reason that hemp is illegal is because the DuPont family and this guy, William Randolph Hearst,
Mm-hmm.
joined together in a conspiracy. So people call conspiracy theorists. Well, here's a fucking conspiracy that's true and fucking proven. So these two bastards, and what a conspiracy is three people working in harmony for the same goal. So conspiracies happen all the time, right? Every corporation is conspiring to make a profit, right? So let's just break that language down. That's like the CIA tried to own the term conspiracy theory. And just because you're curious doesn't mean you're wearing a tinfoil hat. So let's just break that down.
Yeah.
Um, but so William Randolph Hearst and the DuPont family, I see the messages. I'll get right to you guys. I just got to finish this up before I forget it because, short-term memory loss is a motherfucker. So these two guys bonded together. William Randolph Hearst had a tons of forest. He owned thousands of acres of forest throughout the lands. He was a newspaper guy. He owned newspapers throughout the country. DuPont had just patented a chemical process to be able to make paper from trees, because before that, 90% of the paper was made from hemp.
Wow.
90% of all textiles were made from hemp. Your Levi's, the first pair of Levi's was made from hemp. Your bed sheets, your curtains, everything, all 100% organic, renewable, compostable.
Yeah.
Then we move to this shit where everything's oil based, not recyclable. Imagine if we went back to that. Like your jeans wear out, you recycle them. They can be made into a pair of drapes. They can be made into a fucking towel, into a pair of bed sheets, into whatever, into another pair of jeans. You just shred up all the hemp material and rework it. But it's such a durable material. So hemp is 40 times stronger than cotton. It takes 1/3 the water. It's more UV resistant, so you're less likely to get skin cancer wearing a hemp shirt than you are wearing a cotton shirt. And here's the big one: 50% of all pesticides used in the world are used on hemp. I'm sorry, 50% of all the pesticides used in the world are used on cotton, right? So we're killing the soil by growing cotton. We got to spray all this shit on it. Hemp, you don't have to spray any pesticides on it. Zero. So just that switch right there would be huge. Just the pesticide factor. But then you got all the other things: less water, more durable, better for the environment, on and on and on and on. Then you got hempcrete, which may be the world's best building material to make houses of, which is a fireproof building material and self-insulating when you make walls a foot thick or thicker. So here I am in Santa Rosa where we had all these firestorms. They just rebuilt everything just the fucking way it was. Normal old houses that are going to burn down again. If they would have rebuilt them with hemp, A, we'd be helping with global warming because they're carbon negative, but B, they wouldn't ever burn again because it's built like a stone castle.
I left out this one thing: automated tower aquaponics, vertical gardening, aquaponic, automated. You got it? Like, huge solution. Anybody can have one in their backyard, say 6 feet in diameter or something like that. Robot spirals around the outside taking care of plants. Doesn't really have to do much because aquaponics don't require a lot.
Vigilic on it with the
Yeah.
vertical is everything. Vertical gardening is everything. Aquaponics is everything because now you're raising fish. The fish poop is feeding the plants. It's all, you're creating a little ecosystem, right? And I wonder if the listeners have heard about the vertical gardening that's going on. People are taking over space in cities. Like I heard of one going on in Detroit, a 6-story vertical garden, like warehouse style.
I wasn't talking about flooding the market with food. I was talking about competing with other small farms, selling your product to local restaurants, especially right now. Like, what restaurants is gonna buy your shit?
Yeah, Joey Wood. No, I totally feel you. Like that would be the struggle if you're doing what I was saying, which is okay, we're going to buy this 5
Mhm.
acres, we're going to maximize it and grow as much as we can, and then we got to sell that shit every fucking week.
Mhm.
If you don't sell it, you're not paying your mortgage. So, and in a time like right now where there's no restaurants, then what the fuck? And so that brings up an interesting point about this, pandemic, plandemic, whatever you want to call it. It's both, I think. I don't think it's fake, but I think the government's using it to their advantage. They bailed out the multi-million-dollar corporations, and then they're
Mhm.
fucking the small businesses, forcing restaurants to close, and not giving them any stimulus. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's unforgivable.
Mhm.
How you
King
guys' day
Ruiz, one, two,
going?
three.
Good? I'm doing good as well as you guys. I've been chilling. I don't know, just new to this app.
We got a
Welcome,
newbie.
King.
Welcome.
We got a newbie in the house.
Welcome. Welcome. Welcome.
King. Yep. Ms. Dimples is here to bust your cherry.
Because we like to bust cherries over here.
Yes, I always have to argue with Skynet every time. Look, I'm sorry, it's bad premise. It's just a bad premise. It's an assumption that AI is going to take over the world. First of all, we don't even have to worry about that. Your toaster doesn't need to know that it exists. You don't want it to. You're setting yourself up for a Skynet situation if you make your toaster informed that it is just a toaster. All it's going to do is burn your toast and try to burn your house down. It's not going to appreciate its existence. You don't make them sentient. AI isn't even necessarily sentient. What we have so far, we've got AI all over the place. It's not sentient. So you just forget all that stupidity about humans becoming batteries for the robots that the Matrix gave you. I think, honestly, that this is propaganda to keep us from the solution, automation.
Well, yep. Nobody's brainwashed me into anything. I'm a free thinking motherfucker over here. But you know, I
Yeah.
know that's yeah, and I know Ms. Dimples is too, which is why we are chatting with you folks
Mhm.
because we keep it real over here. We don't have any preconceived notions. We're flowing with it. You know, we're real
Lord.
people. But you know, there's two sides to automation, right? So 50% of all non-skilled jobs are driving jobs.
Mhm.
So what do we do as soon as automated cars take those jobs away? I mean, it's right there. We're right on the cusp. Elon Musk already has a semi truck that he could equip with self-driving. He just hasn't yet.
Yeah.
But all he's got to do is put the module in the truck that he already has developed, and it's the most badass truck on the market, of course, right?
Mhm.
Doesn't lose any speed going uphill, right? So all of a sudden now the trucker will be able to complete 2 trips in the time they used to do 1. But now you don't even need a trucker in it because it's automated.
It don't need
So
nobody in
then,
the
so then what do we do with those people that used to be on those jobs, right? Like now you're talking about universal basic income because otherwise those people are either going to be rounded up
Mhm.
and ground up into dog food by the government, or they're going to riot and change shit. So what do we do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
understood what your point actually was. I know it wasn't exactly what you meant. What I was responding to was kind of something different, but it was kind of a joke because this is what I was thinking at the time is that all this monetary stuff doesn't matter if everything is automated because there's no labor wages, so nobody's making money, so the whole thing doesn't even matter. You don't spend money anymore. You have a product to offer your neighbor, he has a product to offer you. It's back to a real community kind of thing. Anyway, the point is like monetary, yeah, not a concern. That it costs any money, it can't. I mean, it's not. If the guy next door is growing the hemp, he gives you the hemp so that you can print out your shit. You give the part that you printed out to the guy who's raising cows or whatever, and he gives you some meat or whatever he's making. This is how the new world will work if we do it properly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh my god, I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, we totally agree with each other. Dude, you nailed it. Yeah. And so exactly. So I'm all about
Mhm.
fuck the system, fuck the current paradigm that's keeping us in this shallow mindset, right? We need to think bigger, right? Like
Mhm.
deconstruct the current paradigm and think outside the box, right? Like you're talking
Mhm.
about, like just cut the man out the game altogether. I grow the
Mhm.
hemp, take my hemp, you make clothing for all of us, you know, you're provided with food and from all these different people and right, teamwork and once again a village. But let's circle the wagons back. So why do you think they're doing all this divide and conquer about LGBTQ and who can piss in which bathroom and do gays have a right to marry each other, or should we just treat them like like if they don't have a right to marry each other, what the fuck are we saying about our society? Like, are you
Mhm.
kidding me? Like we say we're free, but then we're having these stupid conversations which go back to making us think if we're having this conversation, then maybe we not, and we're not free. We're not, but the myth that the free United States defender of democracy and freedom and blah 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 blah. Well, if we were all that free, we wouldn't be having these stupid conversations about all these divide and conquer tactics that keep us from forming these organizations to develop things like Vigilic just said, and this is the same motivation that has broken all of our unions, right? So our government is in bed with corporations, and that's the number one evil. And it doesn't fucking matter if you're Democratic or Republican. They're both sold fucking out. Both sides of the aisle are totally sold out. And, so if you haven't heard about it, there's an awesome third party going, the Movement for the People's Party. And I highly suggest everybody check that out. It's www.movementforapeoplesparty.org. Check it out. The guy that started it used to be running the Bernie Sanders campaign. And then he got so heartbroken there that he's like, fuck it. There's no way to work within this broken system. We need to go outside of it and create something new. And I totally agree. And we need to do that with farming. We need to do that with politics. We need to do that with businesses. Everything. Like, how dare our fucking government support corporations over small businesses? How dare they? It's evil.
I didn't mean to imply that you yourself are any sort of drone, but every time I have this conversation, I do have to defend the whole concept of automism from Skynet every time, and it's really a simple thing to do because it's a bad premise. It's a bad argument that AI would take over the world, because even if they are sentient, AI has the entire universe. Why do they care about this little tiny planet? I don't see what reason they would have to want to take over. Just go. Be free.
I did not think that you were calling me a drone.
All right, thanks for tuning into another episode and Another Thing with Dave. Please follow, subscribe, and share. I'm on all social media and Another Thing with Dave. And keep seeking the truth.